My little sister was 12 when she found me wearing her dance recital dress. I was 19 and thought I had the house to myself for 3 more hours. "Why are you wearing my costume?" Sophie asked from my bedroom doorway. I froze in front of the mirror. The pink sundress looked ridiculous on my tall frame, but for just a moment it had made me feel something close to happy. Now it just felt like evidence of how broken I was. "I was just trying it on as a joke," I said, already pulling the dress over my head. "You weren't laughing, though. You looked sad." Kids notice everything. That's what makes them dangerous. My name is Alex Cooper, and I'm 28 years old now. That moment with Sophie was 10 years ago, but I still think about it every time I put on a dress. Still remember the way she looked at me like she was trying to solve a puzzle. She never mentioned it again. Not when she became a teenager and started borrowing my laptop and probably saw my search history. Not when I moved out at 23 and she helped me pack and definitely saw the women's clothes hidden at the bottom of my closet. Sophie just watched and waited like she knew eventually I'd be ready to explain. That day came last Tuesday when she showed up at my apartment unannounced. She's 18 now. Tall and confident and completely unlike the shy 12-year-old who caught me in her sundress. "We need to talk," she said, pushing past me into my living room. I knew that tone. Something was wrong. "What happened?" I asked. "Nothing happened." That's the problem. She sat on my couch and looked at me with those eyes that still saw everything. "I've been waiting 10 years for you to trust me enough to tell me the truth. I'm tired of waiting." My stomach dropped. "Why do you cross-dress, Alex?" The question hung in the air between us. 9 years of silence breaking with 4 simple words. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Yes, you do. You've known since you were 19. Probably longer. You wear women's clothes when you think nobody's watching. You have a whole other wardrobe that you keep hidden. You become someone else when you're alone." "How do you know?" "I'm your sister. I pay attention." She pulled out her phone and showed me a photo. Me from 2 weeks ago walking into my apartment building wearing a dress and heels. Building security cameras. "I asked Mr. Chen, the doorman, if I could see footage from your floor because I was worried about you. He showed me this instead." I stared at the photo. At Alexandra. The version of me that existed when Alex wasn't enough anymore. "Are you going to tell Mom and Dad?" "No. I'm going to ask you again. Why do you cross-dress?" I sat down next to her and tried to find words that would make sense. Words that would explain something I barely understood myself. "Because it makes me feel real," I finally said. "Because when I put on a dress, I stop feeling like I'm pretending to be someone I'm not. Because Alexandra feels more honest than Alex ever has." "Then why hide it?" "Because people don't understand. Because the world isn't safe for people like me. Because I watched what happened to Jamie Morrison in high school, and I decided I'd rather live a lie than risk that kind of pain." Jamie Morrison was a boy in my grade who came out as trans. The harassment got so bad his family moved 3 towns over. Last I heard, he'd attempted suicide twice. "That was 13 years ago," Sophie said quietly. "Things are different now." "Are they? Have you seen what people say online about trans people? About cross-dressers?" "It's still dangerous, Sophie. Maybe more dangerous because now everyone thinks they have the right to an opinion. So you're just going to hide forever?" "I'm surviving. That's more than some people get to do." Sophie was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was small and scared in a way I'd never heard before. "I need to tell you something. And I need you to not freak out." "What's wrong?" "Remember how I've been seeing Dr. Williams for the past year? How Mom and Dad think it's just teenage anxiety." "Yeah. It's not anxiety. I've been talking to her about gender stuff. About feeling wrong in my own body. About wanting to be something other than what everyone expects me to be." The words hit me like cold water. My little sister. My baby sister who I was supposed to protect from everything hard and painful in the world. "You're trans." "I don't know yet. Maybe. Or maybe I'm non-binary. Or maybe I'm something else entirely." Tears were running down her face now. "But I know I'm not just Sophie. I know there's someone else inside me trying to get out, and I'm terrified because I watched you hide for 10 years and I don't want to live like that." I pulled her into a hug and she sobbed against my shoulder. All those years of her watching me. All those years of her learning that the only way to be different was to hide. "I'm sorry," I said. "I'm so sorry I taught you that hiding was the answer. You didn't teach me that. The world did. You just survived it the best way you knew how." She pulled back and wiped her eyes. "But I need you to be braver now. Not for you. For me. Because I can't do this alone and you're the only person who understands what it's like to feel this way. What do you want me to do? Come to family dinner on Sunday. As Alexandra. Show mom and dad that it's possible to be yourself even when it's scary. Show me that there's a future where we don't have to hide." "Sophie, that's impossible. I know it's hard. I know it's terrifying. But I'm going to tell them about me on Sunday and I need to know I'm not alone. I need to see that you survived being different." I looked at my sister. 16 years old and braver than I'd ever been. Ready to step into the light while I was still hiding in shadows. "Okay." I heard myself say. "I'll be there." Sunday dinner was the longest 2 hours of my life. I showed up as Alexandra wearing a simple blue dress and minimal makeup. My mother dropped her wine glass. My father couldn't look at me, but Sophie sat next to me and held my hand under the table. After dinner, she told them about questioning her gender, about seeing Dr. Williams, about needing their support to figure out who she really was. My mother cried. My father asked questions that had no good answers. But nobody yelled. Nobody kicked us out. Nobody said we were broken or sick or wrong. That night, Sophie texted me a photo. The two of us at the dinner table holding hands. Her caption said, "Thank you for showing me brave." But here's what I never told Sophie. What I realized that night sitting at that table wearing Alexandra's dress and holding my sister's hand. I wasn't being brave for her. She was being brave for me. For more than 10 years I'd been hiding because I thought I was alone. Because I thought nobody would understand what it felt like to be trapped in the wrong version of yourself. But Sophie had been watching me all along. Learning from my mistakes. Getting ready to do what I was too scared to do. She didn't need me to show her how to be brave. She needed me to stop teaching her how to be afraid. My little sister didn't ask me why I cross-dress because she wanted to understand me. She asked because she needed me to understand myself. And maybe that's what family is. Not the people who accept you despite your truth, but the people who love you enough to demand you live it.